This past week, I was so lucky. For the first time in my life, I went to Tim Hortons. Not to Tim Hortons, just anyone, but the very first one, right? The first one on Ottawa Street. A few people came and we went out there for breakfast and a coffee. And it was great. Just let me say to start off with, this isn't an advertisement for Tim Hortons, right? You can go there or not, I don't care. But just it was great to be able to go to the first one. And when I was there looking at some of their memorabilia in the cabinets and stuff, it was really interesting. And one of the thoughts that I had was, how did Tim Hortons, this little coffee shop on Ottawa Street in Hamilton, how did it get so big? How is it that now there's Tim Hortons, not only all over Canada, but even all over huge parts of the world? You can go and find a Tim Hortons. How can it be? What have they done right? They've done probably many things right. One of the things that came to mind is that they must have, one of the points of their success must be that they have a very clear vision. A very clear vision about who they are and what they do. What do you go to Tim Hortons for? You go there for a quick, easy bite to eat and a coffee. Maybe you get something else, right? But you go there because it's quick, it's easy, it's simple. It's not a huge meal. It's just something that you can grab. You can sit down and eat quickly. You can run if you want to stay a little bit and visit with someone. You can do that. It doesn't take much time, much energy. You go. It's great every time, right? Again, I'm not advertising for them, but I think that's their secret, right? They know who they are, what they're about, and they just stick in that lane. They don't venture off. Could you imagine if Tim Hortons next week said, we've got a new idea, we're going to make more money, we're going to be even bigger. We're going to open up with our coffee, our muffins, our donuts, we're going to open up as well, attached to Tim Hortons, a motorcycle shop. You look at them and be like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to open a motorcycle shop? That's not what you do. And if you do that, you very well might risk going bankrupt, right? Losing everything. One of the things that I think, and I think this is true generally also for most businesses, I think it's true even in many relationships. If you think of for many of you, of your marriage and of your family. One of the things that helps things to go really well is when there's a common vision that unites everyone. Everyone can see that overall goal, and then work together towards that end. In the readings today, I see the same thing happening as well. In the first reading that we hear about the prophet Jeremiah, God gives him this vision and instructs him to go and to prophesy tough words to his people. God's people have gone astray. And Jeremiah, who's not like an in-your-face kind of loudmouth, but he's someone who's gentle, who's quiet, who's very humble, and whose heart is filled with lots of love. God asks him to go and to preach hard words to people who did not want to hear them. And Jeremiah really struggles, and he goes and he does it. And what happens? He clearly gives God's vision, right? He clearly speaks what the Lord has spoken, and because of that, they don't like it. They don't like it at all. And in fact, they don't like it so much, it says that they throw him in a well and intend for him to starve to death. Not only do they want to push him to the side, but they want him to suffer because he's pointing out to them the very thing that's wrong. He's pointing out, there's this wound inside of them, he's pointing it out and they don't want to look at it. And so Jeremiah, who does his job, what God asks, clearly gives the vision, but yet that vision causes division, right? That vision, it conflicts or it doesn't work with what their vision is. Their vision is everything is great. We're comfortable. Life is amazing. We're happy. But we don't love God. So what, right? That's their vision. But Jeremiah is saying, no. You have to come back. You have to come back to the Lord. Remember the words of Jesus. He says, "Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are those who bring about unity and peace. They will be called sons of God." But listen, in the gospel today, it sounds almost contradictory. Jesus says, not blessed are the peacemakers today, but he says, I have come to bring fire to the earth, and how I wish that it were already kindled. He says, I tell you that, he says, I have come to bring division. I have come to bring division. What does he mean? To set father against son and mother against daughter and daughter against mother, and he goes on. He's saying he's coming to bring division. We don't think of Jesus bringing division, right? What does he mean by that? Because it's usually the devil who divides. That's who we usually think of. What does Jesus mean? Because there's something here. I think when he's saying he comes to bring division and not unity, in this case, what he's trying to say is he's coming with a vision. He's coming with a plan. He has a goal. He's got an overarching hope that he has for all people. He has a set of teachings that if you follow those teachings, if you make them the rock of your life, you will be better for it, I guarantee you. If you follow God more closely, you will be far better off than if you follow your own designs, your own intellect, your own abilities. What he's saying is that I have a vision. And since I'm giving you a vision, there's bound to be opposition. If someone else has another vision, then there's division, right? There's two different visions. And these two different visions may be in conflict with each other. So what Jesus is saying, I have a mission, I have a vision, I have goals, I have hopes for you. Learn from me and follow me, and you will be better. There are other visions. You can follow those if you want, but they're not good. They're not as good. They will not guarantee you, they will not lead you necessarily to heaven. And so maybe for us today, it's a great point to reflect upon today and for this week. What is the vision of Jesus? What are his teachings? And not to say, Jesus, I've got a better idea. Or Jesus, let me tell you a thing or two about what your teaching should be. Or I'm quite comfortable the way that I am, like those which Jeremiah had said. But rather we say, Lord, I want to conform my life to your teachings, not conform your teachings to my own whims. One of the things that I've been doing in our parish that's been, it's a big part of being a pastor, is trying to make sure in your head that Jesus' vision for the faith and for the church is clear. And then as well, trying to figure out how does that vision then fit into this context and into this community? And how are we all do we see that vision and then we're all kind of pushing towards it? It's been a really good thing. I was counting, since I came at the end of June, I visited to talk about our parish. I visited with 33 people so far, right? 33 people. It's pretty good. And I'm very grateful for many of you, after I put it in the bulletin, who have called and set up times where I could visit you at your home, or some of you have come here to the church, just where you could share with me kind of your own faith. There's been a number of great stories of just people who are here in our parish who Jesus has touched in really deep and profound ways. And to hear those stories, not only those stories, but also what's been going on here and what our community is like, what the needs are, and what we are doing and what we could even more be doing in order to meet some of those needs so that we can be Jesus' church here in our local community. For us, we can't do everything, right? It's impossible for anyone to do everything. So it's really important that we have a clear vision of what Jesus asks of us, and then that we're trying to stick to that lane and to do those really, really well. Just a few of the things that a number of you have brought up and that I've seen in you that is really good, that I'm happy to see here. One is for many of you that I've met with already, and even talked to after Mass, some of you, just your love for the Mass, right? Your love for the Holy Mass. Your love for coming here, hearing the Word of God, being in the presence of Jesus in the Holy Eucharist, being able to worship here in this place, in this church, is such an important thing in your life. It's a life-changing thing, a transforming thing, and that's awesome. As well, for a number of people, their love for St. Anne, right? Our parish patron, whose relics we have as well, the novena, but also outside of the novena, just a real devotion and love for St. Anne, the mother of the Blessed Virgin Mary and the grandmother of Jesus. As well, many of you are very quick to tell me your love for this church, right? Yeah, I'm sure you love all the churches in Hamilton, but for St. Anne's Church, right? And your family history here and the things that have happened that have been like pillars in your life. And that's awesome, and I'm so glad to hear that. And then as well, just to hear and to see as well already, to see your love and care for each other, right? That we're here not just running in, grabbing what we need and rushing out. Maybe, like that's what I do at Tim Hortons, right? I go through the drive-thru, get what I need, and I keep on trucking. But here, like I've noticed many of you that you do care about each other. You spend a little bit of time to ask, how are you? Or if there's something that is needed, you're ready there to help. Jesus tells us in this gospel today, surprisingly, he says, I have come to bring division, right? But what he means by that is not something bad. He's not meaning that he's coming to hurt lots of people, but what he's meaning is he's coming with a vision, that he has a vision, and he invites us and everyone to follow and to join in that vision and to walk together in order to accomplish his great goal of building up the kingdom of God.